Here is another piece that somehow has eluded me over the years, the Ocean Crawler Core Diver. Now, as many of you know, I've reviewed quite a few of their pieces over the years since the brand hit the scene, I think back in 2017. And I may have reviewed every one of their models but this piece and one other. But you know what? The good news is, as the name implies, this is the core diver. And it's become a core part of their collection with countless different variations, all different colors, and even some new crazy ones with meteorite dials or carbon dials. They even did ones with a solid gold bezel and crown. Now, I went with more of a standard one, though this is part of an LE collection. This is the yellow and black, dubbed the Jawfish LE. There's also a half moon LE and a mandarin fish, and each are capped at 100 pieces per color. Now, these are all on sale right now for $899 and are 44 millimeter cases. They're water resistant to 600 meters, and they use the Solita SW200 movement. Now, I'm a big fan of Ocean Crawler watches. I generally like all of their designs. This one's no different, but like always, I'll discuss it all here in this video, all the pros and cons, and see if it's worth the price. So let's get to it. Now, to my knowledge, the core diver has always been the same. It's 44 millimeters, it's 600 meters water resistant, which is on the thicker side at almost 16 millimeters thick. But part of that thickness is a 4 millimeter sapphire crystal. Now, I'll put up all the specs here on screen, and let's start going over what the core diver is. Now, Ocean Crawler calls the core diver the ultimate diving watch. It's tested in water, it's pressure tested and regulated, and of course, it has that all important helium release valve. Now, I poke fun, and I don't take away that these are tested and probably could withstand a good amount of pressure or water. But like I say, most divers aren't using watches like this for diving or saturation diving, and the HRV is pretty much useless to 99% of the public, and probably most everyone who is buying one of these is they're only useful in a dive habitat. So why do we buy these? Bragging rights, I guess, mostly. And let's face it, they just look cool. And this core diver is a very cool looking watch. It's got that Eterna Super Contiki or Doxa-esque case shape, though you could point to a few others, especially from the 60s or 70s, that use case shapes like this one. Though, as I said, this one's been beefed up a bit. It's a bit of a chunky boy, but everything is smooth to the touch, everything is well machined with no rough edges around the case. And I've always been fond of this case. It's a good looking design that is also very comfortable on the wrist. And like all OC watches, it is very well finished. You get a large crown, no crown guard, which is typical for this design, a 120 click bezel with a sapphire insert that is loaded up with lume, and that bezel is fantastic to turn. What am I turning it for? I don't know. I don't dive. I don't know how. I don't time anything with it, but it's fun to fidget with every now and then, isn't it? The dial on this one is all matte black. You get these amazing raised metal applied indices that really catch the light and give just a little bit of bling to the dial. Otherwise, it's pretty simple. Large sword hands, contrasting colors, the cursive model name printed on the dial, and of course the yellow chapter ring to match that yellow strap. Now, I'll talk more about that strap in a minute, but like I did say, if this color is not your deal, well, the other two in this particular variation are orange or blue. And if those don't do it for you, head over to the OC website. They have everything from plain to as flashy as you want it to be when it comes to the core diver. Me, I absolutely love the black and yellow one here. It just works with this style of watch, in my opinion. Now, one thing Ocean Crawler has always done well is the lume, and this is no exception. The lume on this one is crazy, especially on that sapphire bezel, where OC says they have 8 layers of superluminova on the numbers. Based on what I'm seeing, I believe them. When it comes to wearing, yeah, this isn't a small watch, and the thickness is a little much for my likes these days, or at least that's what I thought. But when combined with this fitted rubber strap, this really hugs the wrist. And I don't really notice the thickness, nor do I notice the size, as this feels more like a 42 millimeter than a 44. You can see it throughout the video on my 7.5 inch or 19.05 centimeter wrist, and it really wears perfectly, at least for me, and it's very comfortable. And I really enjoy this FKM strap. And of course, if the yellow is too much, just tell OC you would rather have a black one. The one thing that I feel is missing though is drilled lugs. These straps are really fitted to the case, and it's hard to get a tool in there. And this case is pretty thick at the lugs, so I see no reason that the lugs should not be drilled, which would make strap changes a lot easier. Now, these also do come with a multi link bracelet, but OC was out of stock on those when they sent this to me. And there is also a black leather strap as well. One other note, the case backs on these models all pretty much do look the same, so the artwork on this one I have is correct, but it does look like someone put the wrong case back on this one. As you see, it denotes a bronze bezel and crown, which is another model of the core diver, but not meant to be on this one. I'm not sure how that happened or if it was overlooked as it was being sent to me for review. As I've talked about through the years, I think Ocean Crawler makes a great diving or diver style watch, whichever way you want to say it. They are solid built, they use Swiss movements on most of their lineup, I believe. Great designs, and of course, fantastic lume. They're like an upgraded Deep Blue watch, in my opinion, or this generation's version of Deep Blue. And yes, I know Deep Blue is still around, but they're not as prominent or popular as they once were. This core diver, it's a very cool piece. I think a 42 millimeter version would be a good idea, would still be a big diver, but scaled down a bit. But the 44 millimeter does look and feel great on my wrist. And of course, things like sizing and design are very subjective. I find this one cool and it works for me, but I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts on this Ocean Crawler core diver and let me know whatever questions you have, and I'll do my best to answer them. There will be a written review at watchreport.com, and of course, you can head over to the Ocean Crawler website. Both are linked in the description. Now, before you head out to watch another video about cars or other watch reviews, or a short about cooking or people doing dumb things, give this video a like and make sure you are subscribed with notifications on so you never miss another video. Plus, it really helps out the channel. This is Don Evans from Watch Report. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.